Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Redbird Replay. This is Scott Kirker along with Kelly Willard tonight. Kelly, Metamora comes into this contest. They're 6-1. They're 4-0 in the Mid-Illini Conference. Dunlap coming in. They're going to play only their second game of the season.
Yeah, so hi, Scotty. First of all, thanks for having me on tonight. It's going to be a blast to be in the gym and watch the Redbirds play live. I've only gotten to see just a little bit on YouTube from what we've played so far, and getting to see these guys live is going to be a treat. Dunlap coming in with only one game under their belts is going to be interesting because, as Coach Greaves said, they're going to have fresh legs, but they also are still probably on that early season learning curve that maybe we're a little bit past.
Why don't we take this time and talk to the Redbird head coach?
Yes.
Well, here we are once again with Metamora head coach Danny Greaves. Coach, boy, it's been another cold night, but you get to come into a hot gym and have a basketball game. That's a good thing.
It's the perfect ingredients for a night of high school basketball. Glad we're here.
Yeah, it's nice. You play a Dunlap team that hasn't played a whole lot of games this year, so they're probably kind of itching to get back onto the court, but maybe you're catching them at a good time.
Well, they've played one game. They beat Peoria Christian. And, you know, if you take a look at their freshmen and sophomores, they got fresh legs. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we're ready to play them. We're glad to get the game in.
Yeah, you know, that game, it's so important that you were able to find that game Saturday against Ronan Benson. That was a good chance for you to get out and play again. You guys came out in that game, it shot so well. To be able to keep that up, that's going to be a tough task, isn't it?
Well, you don't make 13 threes a whole lot, and that was the first ball. Although we've hit 10 and 12, so
right.
We're very capable. But like I told our guys, especially against this pressing 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap, you can't settle for threes. You got to get the ball to the baseline. You got to drive, you know, the middle. You got to get to the paint. Now, if you want to work inside, outside, but if you just move to the perimeter and expect to win it from the perimeter without getting it inside, you're kindly mistaken.
One of the things that I thought was so impressive Saturday was how well you moved the ball. Guys had an idea what they were going to do with the ball before they even got it, and man, it was so tough to guard you guys. Another thing that makes your team so tough.
Well, I sure enjoy coaching kids that all five guys can dribble and shoot.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really have to hide anybody.
Right.
And that kind of stuff makes me a much better coach.
You know, Coach, your team has each and every game has gotten a little bit better, and it's been from different guys almost every game.
Well, I've seen, you know, collectively, team-wise, a lot of growth. You know, we had only a couple kids, you know, Zach and Ethan, that actually had varsity experience that impacted success. They might have got, you know, we were up 30 or down 30, but of course, hopefully we weren't down. Like, we don't do that much, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, Coach, we'll let you get going here. I know your team's on the floor now, but we'll let you get going. Hopefully you'll bring home a W, and we can talk after the game.
Who do you got in the booth with you tonight?
This is Kelly Willard tonight.
I recognize that guy. He's the guy that has set the precedence for tennis. You know, I tell everybody this is truly a tennis school.
Oh, getting some points there.
You know it, man. Good seeing you. Thanks for coming, guys.
Well, welcome back to Metamora. Like Coach Greaves said, and it showed in their underclass games. But their underclass teams have played a few more games than their varsity. The varsity's only played one. I think their underclass has played probably 3 or 4. They've played our freshmen and our sophomores last Saturday. But these guys have only played one game so far. They beat Peoria Christian. And so they're going to be, I'm sure they're itching to get on the big. You're right, that learning curve and that rust is probably going to show at least in the first half.
You'd think so. And you know, we have a super young team, and I know we start 3 sophomores and 2 juniors, and you might think that we have a pretty substantial learning curve to go through also, but having already played 7 games, I'm looking for a seasoned team tonight.
And they are. But the one thing you got to remember is sometimes with a young team, you can look great one game and look really bad the next. And you know, we haven't done that yet, but there have been stretches where we haven't looked great. And maybe that's part of just being a high school athlete, or maybe it could be the fact that they're so young. I don't know.
Well, from the limited amount that I got to watch on YouTube the other day, I saw a bunch of good shooters, a bunch of good passers, and a bunch of kids giving 100% the whole game. And I tell you what, if you have an effort level that Danny Greaves requires during a basketball game, if you give 110% the whole way, you wind up playing pretty well most of the time.
Right, and they're led right now by two guys that kind of have taken that the bull by the horn, I guess you could say, and they're the two guys that are kind of out front, Ethan Kaiser and Zach Schroeder. Zach Schroeder, the junior, he probably led us the first probably 4 games. Ethan Kaiser's kind of take over the last 3 games. This past Saturday, he went off for 34. And the impressive part about that was he went up against the 6'9" kid from Roanoke Benson, who's pretty good.
Yeah, a little different skill set for those two guys. Ethan's got kind of an all-court game, and that 6'9" kid from Roanoke Benson was more of a post player. Schroeder's the one that just surprises me every time I watch him play. I know how good he is, but he's 6'2", maybe, and he has arms of like a 6'11" guy. He gets his hands on so many passes that he has no business getting his hands on.
It's almost like he has another elbow, and that arm just keeps extending out. And he is such a good headsy player at the front of your offense. We're getting ready for the national anthem and the starting lineups.
And your Metamora Redbirds. This match, please stand and face the flag of our national anthem. This athletic event is conducted under the regulations of the Dunlap High School Athletic Association and the Illinois Conference. We encourage players and fans to demonstrate good sportsmanship throughout this contest, no matter what your personal feelings and loyalty may be. Thank you for your cooperation. Now let's meet the starters. First, for the Eagles, winners tonight's contest with an overall record of 1-0. A 5'10" junior, number 1, Jack Tweedy. A 6'2" senior, number 2, Gabe Calhoun. A 6'2" senior, number 11, Parker Besson. A 6' junior, number 13, Brock Carr. And a 6'5" senior, number 24, Aiden Derry. These are coached by Mr. Corky Carter. And now, the starting lineup for your Metamora Redbirds.
Well, Kelly there is no jump ball, so it is a visiting team gets the ball out of bounds.
Is that how it works every game? I didn't realize that.
That's how it works every game.
Okay.
And then it just goes to the alternating jump ball after that.
Yep.
Metamora will have a little bit of a size disadvantage tonight. Kaiser's bigger than their biggest guy. Is it Derry? But other than that, they are all around the 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 6'3".
And we're hoping to make it a quick up and down the court kind of game.
Sure.
I would assume. I'd like to see a score in the 70s tonight. What's the magic number? First team to 66 is the winner?
You know, I don't know what the stat is for that. Pretty nice move. And they have their 6'5" guy out in front of their 1-2-2 zone.
Yeah, their sophomores had a lot of success with that zone against us in the first half of the sophomore game. We got a little better in the second half.
That'll be a Metamora ball. Pretty good job by though.
He pointed the wrong direction, I think, yep.
Oh.
So far, the energy level on the Dunlap bench reminds me of a Big Ten game. Eagles look like they're into it right now. Very excited to be competing over here in Tepke Gymnasium.
Dunlap with an early 2-0 lead. Oh, that's going to be over the back on Dunlap. Jack Tudine, I believe, is the guilty party. That's almost unstoppable.
It's too easy, way too easy.
Kaiser ties it up at 2. Ooh. Kaiser, pretty good defense there.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun matchup tonight. Watching those two go at it. Difference being when Kaiser gets the ball, he can take it up and down the court. I'm not sure that 24 kid can do that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
A little trivia question for you, Scott. Can you remember a Metamora varsity basketball team ever starting 5 non-seniors?
Ooh, no.
It's not a very good trivia question because I don't have the answer. Normally when you ask a question, you're supposed to know the answer. Doesn't seem like it, though.
Nice catch.
Yep.
That's a nice feed from DeFrance to Kaiser underneath. 4-2 Redbirds. Oh, nice job by DeFrance. Strong with the ball.
Yep. Would you say this Redbird team has a true point guard, or are there several kids that can fit that bill?
Well, right there you just saw our point guard go inside.
Yep.
Ooh, that might have gone off his knee, but referee's a lot closer than I am. 5:41 to go, first quarter. Redbirds up 6-2, excuse me. Gabe Calhoun, who's been at Dunlap, I think this is his 6th year.
A double red shirt senior?
Well,
that's probably not the shot they were looking for there,
no.
You think? A 26-footer early in the non-existent shot clock?
I think he's been there longer than their coach has been there. Corky Card has been there, I think only his 4th year. Third year?
Fourth?
I think it's his 4th year, and Calhoun's been there 6, I think. Oh, that's
Tucker. Beautiful take by Tucker.
Yeah, took it right at him. You know, and that's the thing about Tucker. You know, he's got a scorer's mentality, but he hasn't been asked to do a whole lot of scoring this year yet.
And he uses high jumping skills right there to get on the board.
Metamora with the 8-2 lead. 5:14 to go, first quarter.
One thing I was looking for from Dunlap tonight, their point guard, the coach's son, number 13, I thought was an exceptional player 2 years ago. Looking for him to kind of dominate their offense. So far, he hasn't done a whole lot, but he might be a tough guard for us.
Tucker's got that responsibility right now, and he's been a pretty good defensive player for Metamora. That's a travel. You know, the defense for Metamora, and they're going to get tested. We're getting into the meat of the conference here with Washington and Morton coming up this coming weekend, starting on Thursday. So those are going to be some tough tests for Metamora.
And playing 3 games a week is it's probably just a lot of fun for these kids. They don't have to practice quite as much. They get more games under their belts. It's fun,
Sure.
fun to have 3 games to look forward to during the school week.
Not a good pass. Makes it 8-5 Redbirds.
One thing I thought Metamora did exceptionally well against Roanoke Benson was just not keep the ball in anybody's hands more than a half a second. The ball movement was spectacular.
And the shooting was fantastic as it is tonight so far. 10-5 Redbirds, 4:05 to go, first quarter.
One thing that Roanoke Benson did, though, was they also played some pretty pedestrian defense.
Right.
They played what you might call Class 1A defense, where they kind of gave you 5 or 6 feet and said, hey, we're going to sort of guard you, but it's kind of like a horse shooting competition.
And, you know, the physicality, too, is a difference in that ball game. I thought that, you know, Metamora got just about every 50-50 ball in that game. And in the middle line, you better come with your lunch pail packed every night because it can get pretty rough.
Yeah, I think starting a little bit tonight, but more on Thursday, we're going to see some of that rough play with the Potters. And then certainly when Washington gets onto the schedule later in the year, the Panthers are always the most physical team in my estimation.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Along with Pekin. Pekin can be pretty salty at times, too. And they have, in my opinion, they have the toughest gym in the Middle Illini to play at.
Okay.
And part of that reason is because in every other gym we play at, whether in Middle Illini or even when we go non-conference, there's a wall behind the baskets. At Pekin, it's wide open.
It's kind of like playing in a big old college arena.
Yes, and that depth perception is really thrown off, and that has always given us problems. That's why, you know, years ago when Nate Canal played at Metamora, you saw him take more baseline three-pointers than he did, you know, probably the rest of the season.
Kaiser with an early 6 points. You said he had 34 on Saturday. Was that the final tally?
Yeah, he had 34 in 3 quarters. He didn't score in the fourth because, you know, well,
Ooh, very close to an over and back on the inbounds.
Yeah. You have to establish possession, or you have to establish yourself on the backcourt before you can touch the ball, and it was close. (10-5) Redbirds.
Boy, that's a tough shot. Great defense by Tucker.
That was really good defense and good position by Kaiser. Ball was knocked out by Dunlap. Redbirds will take the ball.
Yeah, I think we'll be happy if that kid's going to take step-back two-pointers from 17 feet.
Yeah.
Whoops.
That's a nice kick back out for 3 by DeFrant. That's a great play set up by Tyson Swanson.
I believe I saw Luke McAllister make a three-pointer from behind the volleyball red line on Saturday. The only question is, did that make DeFrance angry, and will he try to go farther out tonight?
Well, he might. They both have some ooh, that's another tough shot that the Redbird defense forced. And good. 16-5 Redbirds, 2:15 to go, first quarter. Boy, they just find those extra guy, that extra pass, and like we talked about before, take a good shot and pass it up for a better shot.
Yep, not a lot of dribbling. It's the passing is spectacular with this team. There appear to be 5 kids out there on the floor that can pass the ball very, very well. And nobody's standing still. Everybody's moving and looking for an opening in the court. It's fun to watch so far.
Yeah, that's the way it's been. You know, they were a little bit, I want to say a little bit rusty, but, you know, Coach said it was more of the fact that you ask kids to be something they hadn't been asked to be, you know, in other years. You know, everybody had a different role. You know, Kaiser was asked to be the guy. Last year, he was just one of the secondary players.
Yep.
A very good one, but he was asked to be a secondary player last year, and this year, he's the guy. And Schroeder's the point guard. He wasn't a point guard last year.
Yep. The thing that I noticed watching on film also is that there's not a single kid on this team that makes you think it's my turn to shoot. None of them have that feeling. All of them are looking for somebody else.
Solomon Schwartz comes in. He'll replace Drew Tucker. Tucker playing great defense. Good help side by Kaiser.
I don't believe that's where they want that kid handling the ball.
No.
Yep,
Travel.
That's a jump stop +1.
Yeah, that's great defense. And that's the other good thing about this team is when you switch, there's not too many mismatches. DeFrance could cause you some mismatches, but they do a pretty good job of protecting him on that.
See how long Dunlap stays in this zone defense. See if we can shoot him out of it.
Ooh, he traveled there too, I think.
Scott, we don't have any Mid-Atlantic Conference standings in front of us, but we do know the Redbirds are 4-0 in the league, and Dunlap is 0-0 in the league, so we know that for sure. That's about all we know, except you said the Panthers are also 4-0.
Right.
Possibly 5-0.
Good rebound by Kaiser. Under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Metamora looks like they'll hold for the final shot. Good spacing. 25 seconds.
Great ball movement.
Oh man, they still got a pretty decent look.
Yep, got the shot they wanted. Great ball movement. Solid quarter.
Solid quarter, 16-5 as we head into the second. Take this time now to thank our sponsors. Bill Christ at Country Financial, Sunbelt Rentals, Kaufman Chiropractic, Michael's Italian Feast, Mason Funeral Home, Germantown Grill, Kevin Kyle at Edward Jones, Logoware, Commerce Bank, Heartland Bank, Metamora McDonald's, Metamora IGA, Metamora Fields, Snyder Village, Corey's Grill, Goodfield State Bank, City Blue Technologies, Ipavia State Bank, and Zobrist Shire Insurance.
Scott, I think I've eaten or banked at all of those places in the past 4 or 5 days. It's an impressive list of sponsors. Thanks to all of them.
Yeah, thank them, and really, with the exception of one, you probably should go visit one of all of them. Funeral home probably not the best idea. But.
Hey, 6 points for DeFrance in the first quarter, 6 for Kaiser, a couple for Schroeder, and a couple for Drew Tucker.
And Metamora will start the second quarter the way they finished the first. DeFrance, Schroeder, Swartz, Swanson and Kaiser.
Only 2 buckets for the Eagles in the first 8 minutes. That's not going to get it done.
No.
One thing Dunlap's doing differently than Roanoke Benson did is they're denying the high post a little bit better. It's making it tougher for us to get going.
Oh, that was awfully nice. That dribble
Yep.
penetration by Schwartz and got it to Kaiser, and Kaiser weaved his way in. 18-5 Redbirds.
There we go. Nope.
Calhoun. He's got 6 of their 8.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Pretty.
That's nice. Tyson Swanson, he's awfully good down to that low block.
Yep, we got a nice high post touch that time, made everything flow a little bit nicer.
Great job by Tyson. A lot of good things in the last minute for him.
Yep, that's a rebound that in the sophomore game maybe we didn't come up with. We weren't quite as strong with the ball early in the sophomore game. Tyson, being a sophomore, would have
helped.
Would have aided for sure in that one. Very impressive.
Jake Nealon comes in for Tyson Swanson. He did a nice job. Good.
There we go. I didn't catch that. Was that quite at the red line?
Not quite, but pretty darn close. 23-8 Redbirds.
Another tricky shot. You can hear their coach yelling, "Terrible shot," and he is correct.
Yes. .556 to go. First half, Redbirds up 23-8.
There's behind the red line.
Just a little long.
Advantage McAllister right now.
McAllister.
From Saturday.
Oh.
Just talking about the long three.
Good foul. And he gets the second, makes it 23-9 Redbirds.
Or 9-9.
De France.
France, yep.
There it is. Good.
Pretty.
26-9. Well, that's a nice play by Kaiser. And Dunlap will get called for the foul.
Probably a good foul, to be honest. I think it prevented a slant or a fast break, maybe ending in a dunk.
Michael Zobrist in off the Redbird bench. He'll replace Ryan DeFrance.
Or even Luke.
Him too. I get those. I say that at least once a game.
It's good to give Ryan a shout out now and then. High post touch, life is good.
Oh, that was very pretty right there. Michael Zobrist feeds Jake Nealon. And it's 28-9, 4:49 to go. See that spread? They do such a good job with their spacing.
Yep, 6 different players have already scored for Metamora. Dunlap has 2 kids on the board thus far.
Ooh.
Big difference. Sharing the wealth, spreading it around. Nobody's taking bad shots. Very, very good start. And Dunlap may have the fresh legs, like you said, but boy, it's not helping them so far.
No, they may have fresh legs, but I think we got the better team.
that does help. Yeah. Hey, I got a little trivia for you while we got a break here. This is Coach Greaves' 10th year at the helm of the MTHS basketball program. Do you know what the most number of years is for any Metamora basketball head coach?
Ooh, would it be Tepke?
That's a good answer. Tep has 10 also, so Danny's in his tying Tep's record year. Just out of curiosity, I looked up some things. There have been 21 head coaches in school history. This is our 93rd year of basketball.
Wow.
21 head coaches, and only 4 of them have coached 8 years or longer. And you got 2. You got Tep and you got Danny. One was Jerry Stoll. And one was the very first in school history, W.W. Painter, in the 20s and 30s. That's your trivia for tonight.
Wow. I wonder how good he was. I have to ask Chuck Leonard, I guess. (28-11) Metamora.
By the way, Danny's going after his 191st win in those 10 years tonight. If my arithmetic is correct and if the IHSA website's accurate.
Oh, nice. And nicer.
Yep.
31-11 Redbirds. 3:50 to go first half. Oh, man. Just got a finger on it. Oh, there. Get it to him.
Uh-oh.
Stay Redbird ball.
Well, I saw the Dunlap sophomores have a 20-point lead in the first game, and Metamora came back and tied it up. I don't get that feeling in this game.
No, because they didn't take care of the ball as well as we do. That'll stay Redbird ball. Ooh, they're going to change that and go back to Dunlap now. 3:30 to go. Redbirds up by 20. Nice job by the Redbirds. Nice check out there.
Not a lot of ball movement for Dunlap. Just chuck it and hope. Ooh, could have been a carry.
Still a nice look.
Yep. Oh, wow. A little out of control and a pretty hard foul. Is that the young man that you said is 24 years old?
Yeah, he's been there, Dunlap longer than their head coach, and he's been head coach has been there for 4 years. So. First shot is up, no good. Tucker and DeFrance come in for Nealon and Schwartz. They gave us some good minutes.
Yeah, I don't have a good feel yet, having not seen a lot of Metamora games yet this year, for how deep our bench goes, but it seems to be not a lot lost when you go a few deep into the bench.
Well, they're good enough to give us some minutes, and and at times they can be pretty darn good. We traveled
Twice.
Yep.
Traveling violation. Metamora.
Well, this broadcast isn't going over to Dunlap, so I feel comfortable saying this. This is organized basketball from Metamora and rec league basketball from Dunlap.
Yes, very much so. (31-20) or 31-11 Redbirds, 1:50 to go.
That's pretty.
Oh, Tyson Swanson. Nice entry pass. .119 to go. Schroeder will come back in for the Redbirds. He'll replace Michael Zobrist. Michael Zobrist did a nice job.
Yep, sure did. Everybody off the bench has done a really nice job. I did find one stat that Dunlap is winning so far, and that's dribbles per possession. Metamora, the ball is not touching the ground nearly as much. A lot of crisp passing, and Dunlap is dribble, 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 dribble.
Ooh, that was dangerous. Under a minute to go, first half. And that's denied.
Haven't seen a Schroeder takeaway yet this half. It's about time for one. Use those 9-foot arms.
Yeah. Oh, that was swatted away by Swanson.
Ooh, tough no call.
27 seconds to go. He climbed in. Makes it 33-15 with 8 seconds to go. Good. 36-15. That'll be the halftime score. Oh, they count that. They're going to count that. 36-18.
Pretty good looking shot. I wasn't looking at the clock, to be honest. I'm not sure if we should have counted. It was awfully close.
I didn't either. I didn't think he had a prayer, but evidently he did. So at halftime, it is 36-18. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the first half stats and the second half. Welcome back to Metamora. The Redbirds took that 36-18 lead into the halftime locker room, but Dunlap hit a three right at the buzzer from about maybe a little bit before half court. Man, maybe one of their best shots of the night.
They gave Gabe Calhoun 11 first half points. He has 11 of their 18 for the Eagles. We have Gabe Garcia with 3 first half points. Austin Schomburg, love that last name. Two points in the first half, and Aiden Derry also 2 points. 18 points for the Eagles. The magic number is 66. They're going to have to work to get there for sure. For Metamora, Jake Nealon got on the board with 2 points. Drew Tucker also 2 points. Tyson Swanson had a couple buckets for 4. Zach Schroeder had a couple threes and a 2 for 8 points in the first half. Luke DeFrance had 3 threes for 9. And Ethan Kaiser on the board with 11 for 4 regular buckets and a 3-pointer, 11 to lead the way.
It'll be Dunlap ball to start this second half in about 3 seconds.
Same starting 5 for Metamora in the second half.
It looks like the same starters for Dunlap also. Oh, good defense by Metamora. Just took the ball away.
And Brock Card, number 13, had 0 first half points, and it's just been a big struggle for him tonight.
Oh, nice. That's just nice right there. And good. Wow.
Pretty good second chance, thanks to Swanson.
Yep.
Kaiser up to 13 on the night. Catching up to Dunlap.
Ooh. That's a 38-18 call.
That's a home call in the wrong gym.
That ball's out on Kaiser. Just about every pass they make, it seems like is getting deflected or touched, or it's contested in some way.
Yep. And the Dunlap bench, remember I remarked early in the game how vocal and enthusiastic they were?
They've quieted down.
There's a lot of sitting on their hands, and the Metamora kids are standing up cheering.
Kaiser corrals that basketball. Oh! That's almost a dunk. We'll call it a baby dunk for Tyson.
That's for sure
Swanson.
a dunk. On my score sheet, that's a dunk.
What a pass by Kaiser, though. Again, deflected or contested. Good job by DeFrance to kind of hang around the rim, because that wasn't intended for him.
The alley-oop was not to Luke. That's a great take.
Yeah, that was 42-18 Redbirds. Climbs in.
Calhoun's doing the best he can. He's got 13 to lead the Eagles.
We leave him wide open. Kaboom.
It's like shooting a layup, as you say.
45-20, 5:20 to go, third quarter. Two shots.
Continuation.
Foul number 32, Tyson Swanson. It's first. That's the line. Shoot 2.
First one's up, no good. 5:19 to go, third quarter. Redbirds cling to that 25-point lead.
Here's something to work on. Metamora hasn't shot a free throw yet tonight. Let's get to the line.
Kaiser with a nice rebound. Oh, you can see that coming. 45-22. Oh man!
Tried to get to the line.
Yeah, that was probably a charge
It's
too.
a pretty good take though.
Yeah. Good take and probably a pretty good defensive play too.
Yep.
And that'll be their third quarter mask timeout.
I don't think anybody takes the mask off during that timeout, do they? 'Cause
No.
They're already down so low they don't really need it?
No.
It's just kind of a break for the legs?
Yes. I like the music being played loud. I like that.
Kind of feels like a real basketball night. We got Jim Matson in the house taking some film. We got some fans, not too many, but we got some fans. We got cheerleaders.
I think he's playing solitaire.
I think he is.
Huh.
This is my first game in this gym since last March 6th. That was a packed house against Notre Dame in the regional final.
Yep.
Fun night, except for not winning, but fun night. While we got a timeout, how about a little more trivia?
Okay.
Coach Greaves has 7 20-win seasons out of his first 9 years. In the rest of the school's history, how many 20-win seasons have there been other than those 7?
I think we've only got 6.
Pretty darn close. There's 8 more, so a total of 15. And he's got just about half of them. So pretty remarkable decade, to be honest.
I know we didn't have any 20-win seasons back-to-back until he got here.
That's fair. Going to be hard to get to 20 this year.
It will be. It will be. But
although this team would have done it in a normal season, it sure looks like.
It does look like we could have. And we still might. We have to go on a heck of a run.
Are there even that many games?
I think there's 21.
Okay.
Yep, that'll be down that ball. Swanson just took that away.
And this will be a chance for Card to get on the board with his first points of the night. He's the kid that I thought was going to be their best player tonight. I did not realize Calhoun was going to lead them. He's got 15 of their 22 points.
Yeah, and he's... Card hits the first. Calhoun will have a seat with 3:47 to go. Card gets them both, makes it 45-24 Redbirds. Oh, there you go.
Does he get an assist on that?
Well, he gets a rebound.
Padding the stats.
Oh, there's a pick by Schroeder.
That's pretty good.
That's just good team basketball right there. 49-24 Redbirds, 3:14 to go, third quarter. It's been a clinic on team basketball.
Yep, no doubt about it. DeFrance skies for the rebound.
Oh, yeah. Kaiser with the offensive board. Oh.
Aiden Garrett for 3.
49-27. 2 minutes to go, third quarter.
Pretty hard to find many flaws with the performance so far tonight. If you're going to nitpick a little bit, you'd say they've been a little sloppy with the ball in the third quarter, and we have not yet gotten to the free throw line in the game tonight. Those would be two pretty minor areas to nitpick, but otherwise a comprehensive beatdown.
Yeah, Nealon and Schwartz come in for Swanson and Tucker.
It's about 4 sloppy turnovers in the third quarter. Just a little bit less sure with the ball this quarter.
And there's a dunk. He's had at least one every game, and his season high is 4. Makes it 51-29.
I remember lots of years when there wouldn't be a dunk for the entire season.
Well, up until 2 years ago, we had 7 total in Danny's first, I think, in his first, 8 years here. And in the last 2 years, it's been a little bit of a dunk fest at times. (51-29). 22-point lead for the Redbirds.
Did you do that in your head?
You know. Ooh.
Nice poke away by Solomon. He gets rewarded. Nice.
Nice team defense there, too.
First bucket of the night for Solomon Schwartz.
Oh, he traveled. So the Redbirds will have a chance to hold for 1. Hopefully early in that fourth quarter, Metamora will get that 30-point lead.
I forgot about that.
Get that clock running.
So is it kind of like football, it's any time in the second half, or is it only fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter.
Some of the Redbird players would probably like to not have a 30-point lead and get a little more playing time.
Luke McAllister checks into the Redbird lineup. He'll replace Kaiser. Kaiser's evening might be done. Good job by Nealon to come to the ball. 21 seconds.
Fouls on 10. Austin Schomburg is first.
3 pretty good options for 3-point shooters at the end of the period if that's what we wind up getting.
Boy, another split second. We take this time to thank our sponsors. Bill Christ at Country Financial, Sunbelt Rentals, Kaufman Chiropractic, Michael's Italian Feast, Mason Funeral Home, Germantown Grill, Kevin Kyle at Edward Jones, Logoware, Commerce Bank, Heartland Bank, Metamora McDonald's, Metamora IGA, Metamora Fields, Snyder Village, Corey's Grill, Goodfield State Bank, City Blue Technologies, Ipavia State Bank, and Zobrist Shire Insurance. Thank those guys for everything they've done for us. Metamora goes into this fourth quarter, Kelly. They're up 53-29 kind of picked up where we left off on Saturday.
Yeah, it's been a fun offensive performance to watch, but it's also been just as fun defensively to watch.
Yeah.
This team plays some really solid team defense. The one thing I expected to see a lot of tonight was Zach Schroeder picking balls away from kids. Haven't seen that yet tonight.
He had one steal where he picked his pocket.
Yep. But overall, just a very, very good comprehensive showing. Kaiser is back in the game. He's got 17 points, and he's way behind his 34-point output from Saturday, so he's going to have to try to put those up in a hurry.
Well, he's halfway there.
Yeah. Again, more math in your head.
Oh, you do what you can.
Very impressive.
You eat right.
But again, more unselfish play. A great look from Kaiser to Jake Nealon, just didn't come up with it.
Nealon with a big rebound.
I guess the biggest drama remaining in this game is who's going to be the game's leading scorer. Calhoun has 17, Kaiser has 17. Nice
tip in by Schroeder. Wow. Crashing the board. 55-29.
That sounds like a Riverside Brookfield Metamora football score from back in the day, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 19 of their 31 points for Calhoun. Very nice night for number 2. Ooh. Yep.
I don't think they're going to count it. He said no.
Should have been goaltending. It was never going in, but it doesn't matter. The ball hit the backboard, and then we blocked it. Official didn't see it in real time.
Did he ask Schroeder if he's the one that fouled him?
I think he did.
I wonder what he would have done if he'd have said no.
Called goaltending.
Swanson and DeFrance replaced Nealon and McAllister. And he gets them both. And then replace Calhoun.
Could be it for the night for him. 21 points. Very nice job by Calhoun for sure, leading the Eagles. Still no field goals for Card. Very surprising.
A little sloppy here. 6:23 to go in the ball game. Redbirds comfortably out in front, 55-33.
Got to have something to watch on film the next day or so. We've had lots of sloppiness in the second half.
That's a nice job by DeFrance. Deflected it right to Schroeder.
That is
oh! Boy, a lumpy Vogel flush there.
That's just great vision by Schroeder and a great finish by Kaiser. That's fun basketball. And again, more unselfish basketball. I hate to keep harping on this, but on the Dunlap end of the floor, it seems to be a little bit of it's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn to shoot. And on the Metamora end of the floor, all the turnovers we've seen have been because we're throwing an extra pass that somebody's not ready for.
Yeah.
It's just super unselfish and really, really gratifying to watch kids play that way.
You know the nicest part of that whole thing? They're all back next year.
Yep, that does make it nice. Unless somebody declares early for the NBA.
That would probably be a mistake.
Hey, 57-33, we're getting close to our magic number of 66.
Well, I just went 63. Metamora comes out with Michael Zobers, checks into the Redbird lineup along with Tucker and Swanson. Swanson with the rebound.
How do you pass that up?
Well, you don't.
You don't. 5 threes on the night for Luke, 15 points.
60-33 Redbirds. Oh,
Pretty solid defense right there.
Fouls on 32, Tyson Swanson, his second. Team fifth, card at the line, shooting.
first one's up and good. Michael Zobers comes away with it. Nice job by Zobers to just go get it. And it'll be the break. So Kelly, you've watched him on TV. Now you've watched him in person. Are you more impressed in person?
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed Saturday with the Roanoke Benson game, so it's hard to be more impressed. I will say the unselfish play exhibited by everybody on the floor has been spectacular. It'll be really interesting to watch us try to defend a bigger team, a team with 2 or 3 bulky, beefy guys, and see how we fare with that. Although maybe there aren't those teams around this year. I don't really know.
I think Morton's going to be, they're going to have some guys with some, maybe not, you know, big beefy guys, but they got some guys that are strong. Their running back, Glatz, is a pretty good player for them, and he will, I don't want to say cause problems, but he's going to be somebody you're going to have to contend with strength-wise. Washington's always physical. So
on the flip side, though, if we do play against a bigger team and we have a lineup with 4 guards and Ethan Kaiser, it is just a nightmare trying to chase these guys around the floor, especially with how well we pass the ball.
Right. And I think we match up favorably with everyone except maybe Washington and Morton, who both have some players that are going to be.
Thought we might almost get a dunk there from a different character. I thought Drew was going to get up there and throw it home.
And he can.
Yep.
That'll be rebounded by Metamora. Again, this one-on-one stuff that's not going to get Dunlap back into the game at all.
Yeah, I think the only thing Coach Greaves will be a little unhappy with is the 9 or 10 second half turnovers. Other than that,
Yeah.
a pretty spectacular exhibition. Was that called offensive?
Yeah, I think it's because he put his arm out. But Zober sold it.
He did.
And you got to do that.
Yep.
Again, looking for that other guy.
Yep. Yeah, I did not track assists tonight. I probably should have because there would have been a bunch of them. There was one.
Is that Swanson?
Yeah, Swanson, 8 points, very quietly. A nice contribution tonight, and defensively and rebounding. Getting dangerously close to that 30-point lead, Scott.
Yeah, with 3:47 to go. Yeah, climbs in. 63-34 Redbirds. Oh, he traveled. Oh, in and out.
Again,
Oh,
great board. Went up strong. Nicely done. And he's going to get into double figures here if he makes one of these.
Luke McAllister up off the Redbird bench. He'll come in after the first free throw. First one's up and good. And he'll replace Michael Zobrist.
Scott, that's 4 guys in double figures. At the high school level, that's pretty solid sharing of the wealth.
And he gets them both. And that gives us the 30-point lead. It should be continuous clock now.
That might clinch his game-high scoring honors. 23 points for Calhoun tonight. Kaiser's got 19.
Ooh. Ooh. Still a nice move.
Yep.
Went up with the left hand on that one.
Now, does he get an assist on that?
No.
I didn't think so. That's a 2 for Luke. Hey, Luke's got 17 points, by the way. What a nice night for Luke.
And here comes Nealon.
Kaiser Quick's going to make an entrance.
Michael Zobrist.
I think Bryson Plew, I think I saw.
Yep. Nice job by the Redbirds. Clock keeps going. 2:13 to go.
That's beautiful basketball.
That is a real nice pass from Jake Nealon to Kaiser Quick.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, we got past that magic number of 66.
Yeah, we
Just
should be
barely.
safe.
I think we're good. And more one-on-one basketball for the Eagles. Bailed out with a foul.
First one's up and good. Come close to 1 minute. Guys are quick with a rebound. That's a nice rebound there. Got a little bit of ups.
He's got a bucket, a rebound, and a foul, all since he came in.
Pretty nice night.
Loading up the stat sheet. Good board.
Like Bryson Plew with a nice rebound. Oh, nice. That's a nice battle by those guys underneath.
No doubt.
71-37, under 20 seconds to go. And that'll do it. The Redbirds will go to 7-1 on the season. They're 5-0 in Mid-Illini Conference play. Nice job by the Redbirds.
Yep, very nice comprehensive beatdown. Dunlap had a good game out of Gabe Calhoun, 23 points, but Scott, the rest of their team only scored 14 points on the entire night. That's not going to do it.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with the end of the game stats and a chat with a happy head coach, Danny Greaves.
At MTCO digiMAX, we work hard to give our community the best value in internet, TV, and voice. But the big network conglomerates we have to pay for TV content don't share our community values. Every year, they demand higher and higher fees and force us to pay for channels few people watch. We hope you'll understand we're doing our best to keep our costs down and your rates low. Visit tvonmyside.com to learn more about these unfair charges.
All right, Scott, we got some end-of-the-game stats for this 71-37 victory for the Redbirds tonight. First for Dunlap, we had Gabe Calhoun, a very nice night for the senior, 23 points to lead the Eagles. The rest of the crew, though, not a big night. Aiden Derry had 5 points. The senior had one 2-point bucket and one 3-point bucket. Junior Brock Card, that I expected was going to lead the Eagles, and man was I wrong. Brock Card had 3 free throws for 3 points. Austin Schomburg had 2 points, and Gabe Garcia had 4. Again, the total for Dunlap on the night, 37 points, not enough against the Redbirds. Metamora had 4 players in double figures, led by Ethan Kaiser with 19 on the night. Luke DeFrance put up 17 on 5 threes and a 2. We had Zach Schroeder chipped in 12, and Tyson Swanson, a very nice contribution with 11, 4 players in double figures. Also finding the score sheet, Drew Tucker had 4, Jake Nealon had 2, Luke McAllister had 2, and Solomon Schwartz had 2. A total of 71 on the night for the 34-point victory for the Redbirds to advance to 7-1. Scott, thanks for having me around.
Welcome back to Tepke Gym. We're here with head coach Danny Greaves. Coach, this one was just utter domination from the start here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, they had one kid that could score a little bit, and he had 23. He's a good player. Calhoun could start on any team in the area. But other than that, you know, one kid had 5, one had 3, one had 2. I think our kids just did a really good job of, you know, they do that dribble penetrate offense, and they tried to get to the rim every time. Our one-on-one closeouts were excellent, and our team defense on the backside was really good. So I'm really proud of the effort.
The zone really did not seem to affect us all really much at all, and they really didn't come out of it for most of the game. They played a little bit of man, but mostly they played a lot of zone, especially in the first half.
They amoeba it. All right. So what they do is if you line up in a 1-3-1, they line up in a 1-3, and if you go 2-1-2, they go 2-1-2. And so they were in that matchup the whole night. But you know, we learned and we taught them, you know, you cannot start with perimeter shots against that defense. So of course, what do? The very first shot, we come down and we jack it from the deep corner. You know, but from there on out, our next 5 baskets were layups, and we moved the ball really nice, went inside, outside, baseline, skip pass, weak side. So it was really fun to watch them just knife through that thing like nobody's business. It was fun.
And I mentioned this last week that out of any team that I've ever watched at any level or that I've covered, this has by far been the most unselfish basketball team I think I've ever watched.
You know what? It's just amazing, and it doesn't matter who's in, and it doesn't matter if somebody's in off the bench. They've done just a great job of sharing the basketball.
And again, you know, you get multiple guys in double figures. I don't have straight numbers off of me, but Kaiser, DeFrance, Swanson, and Schroeder, I believe.
There it is right there. 17, 12, 10, 4, 11, 2. What do you have, 9 guys score?
Yeah, you know, for DeFrance with 17, 5 threes, I mean, a guy who can just come in and absolutely knock down shots at any point in time for you. And there was one point where he took a deep one, didn't even have a heat check, and he darn near made that one as well.
Well, he hit the one before that. You know, we put him in the middle because when we put our man low, they dropped that guy all the way down, and all of a sudden it parted like the Red Sea. And so he hit that first one, and he took the second one, but I never have a problem with him as deep as he goes, because I'll tell you, I see him make them every day in practice.
And one of the best alley-oops that we've seen. I had a different seat tonight down on the court level, but I did not see Kaiser at all flying to the rim until he started jumping, and it was arguably one of the best alley-oops I think we've seen from him.
Well, they did a really good job of just trying to lean on him and not give him any space to get any air. And so I thought they did a pretty good job on him that way. But eventually, when you got guys, like Luke knocking down 5 threes and spreading the ball and the floor like they did, they had to give up something, and I like the way he gets to the rim and finishes.
Moved to 7-1 on the year, 5-0 in conference play. I'm sure we'll see Dunlap at another time at some point in the season, who knows when. But we get a very big game on Thursday night when Morton comes to town. What are we going to see out of them?
Well, you're going to see 3 kids that can really shoot it. They're big and strong. They got quite a few seniors. They got a couple football guys that help. Their inside game has gotten better. So it's going to be our best challenge of the year so far.
2 great games against Morton last year. When you think of top teams in the conference, it's Washington, Morton, and Metamora. It'll be a good one on Thursday night.
It's going to be a real Donnybrook, I'll tell you. We're ready for it, though.
Coach, thanks. Great win tonight, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you all so much for what you do. I sure appreciate you.
Thank you. That'll do it for us tonight here on the Redbird Replay.